sin, this is a word for sin. It literally means to commit a crime. Sin is like a violation of God's principles. That's why sin is so serious. It's like if we really offend God in a very deep and serious way. And okay, I'll skip this, but I'll let it show on the screen for a bit so that if people want to come back to the webinar, they can come and have a look and try to figure it out. Commit a crime or error. Okay, so I'll just leave this on the screen a bit so that people could come to it afterwards if they want to. These are dictionary definitions from the thesaurus of a dictionary. I'll skip this. But that tells you how serious sin is. So I'm just going to skip all of these. This is the word for guilt, crime, fault, blame, sin. And of course, when you think about crime, a crime could be committed on purpose, and a crime could also be something that we don't even realize when we've committed a crime, you know, but it doesn't make it any less of a crime, right? So that's what sin is like. Confess sin is to admit or acknowledge wrongs and evil. This word, this portion of admit or acknowledge, that's to confess, by the way, to admit or acknowledge wrongs and evil. This portion here represents heart. This represents a knife. So it's a knife in the heart, because sometimes it's hard to acknowledge that we are not perfect and that we need God. And then this represents words. So we use, so that's a big part of confess. Okay, I'm just going through these things very quickly because I would like us, and Jesus came to save us, to save, rescue, support, save, rescue, assist, two words that are similar, put together to mean the whole word for save or rescue. A lot of Chinese words are like that, two words that are similar in meaning, put together to make a complete word. So this is a word for save. And we see that to rescue means to ask or to strike, I guess, to ask that you not strike me, maybe. Y'all can always come back to these and see what you think. Rescue, save, support is a hand that is assisting, aiding, rescuing. But I tell you, most of mankind, when God stretches out his hand to assist us, most people slap it away and don't even realize that that's what we're doing. So a hand to assist, aid, rescue. Salvation is the grace, and it's really grace because we don't deserve it. We really all deserve to rot in hell, which is a horrible place. I read a book about hell called 20 Minutes in Hell, which describes an experience that a Christian had when God allowed him to go to hell so that he could come back to earth to explain to people what hell is like. Because God wanted people to understand that hell is a real place and it's not a nice place. I could tell you, after reading that book, I definitely don't want to go to hell. I can promise you that. Save, assist, rescue, grace. That is salvation. Favor, grace, kindness, the reason for the heart. Hell, infernal underworld, is the earth place that is a prison, a place in the earth, some place in the earth that is a prison, etc., 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 etc. All right, so you guys could always come back to these things. I'll just allow people to, right? Which would you prefer? A fiery lava lake prison cell full of demons and eternally boiling people, or an indescribably beautiful city home shared with God, good angels, and fun, saintly people with pure and kind motives? We all have to take our pick. And that's the story of Jesus's life, death, and resurrection that the sentimentality of Christmas hardly ever tells in its entirety, lest people actually take Jesus seriously and get saved.